You got to make a reservation. It's very difficult to get in.
Well, it's okay. I'll use the service entrance. I'll see you at 9.
Welcome
and bienvenidos
to another episode of Service Entrance People. I am Boomer.
And I'm Pixie. Hola.
Hola, Pixie. For those of you who are new to the show, just jumping in, this podcast is for and about the gritty, underpaid, and underprivileged service industry workers of the world.
Unite.
We have clearly made wrong turns in our lives because no matter what, we have ended up right in these jobs. These jobs where no matter our talent, our skills, our artistry, we end up dealing with the infamous Karens and Florida Man. And Mr. and Mrs. Von Uppity on a daily freaking basis. Day in and day out, we walk through the parking lot of broken dreams and we enter through that specially marked door. You know the one.
The service entrance door.
That is the soul-crushing door.
You're the help. You go in the back way.
If you are interested in listening and sharing in on the war stories of the industry, and if you're curious as to what us,
the help,
are truly thinking, we are going to educate you with stories of the strange, the shocking, and most of all, the hilarious, because laughing is the only way we can make it through.
So true. So true. This is an industry that we truly love, and although you'll hear horror stories, rants, and bitching about how we have to work at work, we kid because we care.
Truth.
There is nothing that we would rather do except maybe
this here show for you.
Correctamundo.
We chirp at it because we love it, okay? Also, please do us a favor. If we are not for you, you know what? Listen fucking anyway.
Yes, hate, listen, rage, listen, binge, listen, and heckle.
We know that there is one thing on this planet that is better than a good horror movie, and that is a terrible fucking horror movie. We will be that bad horror movie for you. So come on in. The water's great. I promise. One last disclaimer. The show, like the industries that we cover, comes with some spicy fucking language.
Ay, 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 muy caliente.
You have been forewarned.
Fuego.
Earmuff as needed. Also, make sure you are listening, liking, subscribing, sharing, rating, and reviewing. Rating 5 stars and reviewing. Rate
Cinco.
And review.
5 stars.
Now, Pix, what's a good way to go about leaving a review if you're too fucking lazy to actually type in words that are like, I like them, thems is good, ha ha ha, hee hee hee.
Mash that predictive text button like 5 times, pop, 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 and you're done.
The predictive text messages are done, man.
The predictive text. You are all over with your words today. And I know you mispronounce because you think you're being cheeky, but I'm worried you might be having a stroke.
I have a very serious question to ask you at this moment, Pixie.
Yes.
Do you smell toast?
Maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, my stroke live on podcast. Or I should say, to be more accurate, probably my first stroke live.
Not a stroke of genius, just his actual stroke.
Exactly.
If you want to participate in our podcast by sending us some stories, you can do that by contacting us at serviceentrancepeople@gmail.com. You can message us on Facebook at Service Entrance People Podcast. You can DM us on Twitter at that little @ symbol, Service Entrance People Pod. Or you can drop us a voicemail, because I know you'll make Boomer's day if you do that. That's 854-345-7721.
I didn't even get to ask about yo DMs.
No,
you
just
did
went
not. Straight through that
I
station.
was super excited. I just plowed right through it.
You're a plower and a thrower.
Like the bull in the china shop I am.
Aw. That's not a bull. That's not a bull sound at all.
You are having a stroke.
Yeah, I'm worried for me at this point. Well, the only thing that is left to do if I truly am having a stroke is to lock the doors, turn on some tunes, and do what? Drink.
Absolutely.
So this week's Shifty O' the Week for myself is I am going back to Left Hand Brewing Company out of Longmont, Colorado. And we're going to do a milk stout, a milk stout nitro, which is dubbed America's Stout. Now, here's the thing that you folks playing along at home need to know. Though I sound like a really uptown, suburban, suave, sophisticate, am a train wreck. So because the stout requires a special pour into the old glass there, Pixelina is going to be doing the actual pouring for me because the ability for me to, get that all wrong.
And that's how you pour a stout. See that nice foam? There you go.
That's a bottle cap, or you could put the bottle cap on there and it would just like...
The bottle cap is not in there.
No, I'm saying
Oh.
the head is so thick you can sit the bottle cap on it and it will not fall into the drink. That's what I'm saying.
The only thing more beautiful than that is a proper Guinness.
But I prefer Left Hand Brewing Company out of Longmont, Colorado.
Absolutely.
And what are you destroying your insides with today, Pixie?
I went back to our Frozen Barrel Imperial Milk Stout. It's kind of weird we're both drinking stouts today. But
Very stouty.
Yeah, it could be this whole stomach thing. Anyway, the Frozen Barrel Imperial Milk Stout, which I actually really loved the last time, it spends 4 months pulling the goodness out of a whiskey barrel with a subtle hint of vanilla bean that really brings out that big winter flavor. And you can actually really taste the vanilla bean. It's delightful.
Hell yeah. Drink it up, girl.
Delicious, smooth.
Yeah, it is. All right. Now we get to the nitty gritty. This week's episode of Service Entrance People, episode 18, is entitled Manager, I Hardly Know Her. And this week we delve into a subject close to my heart, which is all the ways in which managers fuck up.
Absolutely. Don't you love it?
I do, because I am absolutely a manager who fucks up. And while we enjoy talking shit all across the board about everything, it's always nice to turn the spotlight on ourselves sometimes and the jobs that we do in the restaurant or in whatever it is we're doing, and give ourselves the same type of treatment that we give to most of the asshats out there. So this, though we're not directly telling stories about anything you or I have done, it's spiritually dedicated to the dumbass shit that we have done.
I'm just guilty of mostly overreaching. That's the only time I've been in trouble as a manager is when I've designated and delegate. I got it. Where I delegated responsibility to my subordinates there, only to have my owner tell me, you can't do that.
Okay. My biggest weakness is I care too much and I work too hard. Those are my biggest weaknesses.
Vaginas don't bleed as much as your heart does there, Boomer.
But I am very proud that for weeks now, I have memorized going front to back, front to back, front to back. So you can teach an old dog new tricks. So let's go ahead and kick the tires and light the fires, or whatever trite 80s movie cliche comes into my head next, and kick off the episode with you.
This email comes from Nico in New Jersey.
I'm not going to say hola to you, Nico.
No.
Not even a little bit. I'm going to say hi.
And hola from me.
Bueno.
Nico says, you guys know what it's like to work in food and bev. You know the deal. I'm a host. I seat people. I make small talk. It's easy. The Jersey Shore isn't, that busy. Even as off seasons. When it's busy, it's still easy. He keeps an eye on the servers, their sections, their tickets, blah, blah, blah. Gotta love that little, cut to the chase there.
Yada, 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 cut two.
Yes.
No cut two, by the way. No cut two.
He said, as I pass my manager to collect some menus, she's not quite old enough to be my mother, but pretty darn close. She tells me that I need to go out and talk to a table and give them what I like to call the quote-unquote manager spiel.
Ooh, there's so many different manager spiels.
Wait for it.
Oh, God.
Hey there, folks. I'm sorry, pulling a Boomer.
You sound just like me. Okay.
I know,
All
I know.
right, okay.
Hey there, folks.
I feel personally attacked, but keep going.
I'm so sorry that no one's been to see you yet. We have not forgotten about you. We're just a little understaffed at the moment. Again, I apologize and promise that someone will be over to you shortly.
Good news is you have a seat. Bad news is my name's Boomer and I'm going to be your server today. And I'm the worst server that we have. That speech, only Nico didn't have to then do a impersonation of a shitty server like I tend to do.
Kind of.
Wow.
He says, it's not my place to,
Manager?
No, he said, it's not my place to fight. And I salute and execute. It just sucks having a manager who would rather, I don't know, hide in her office or buy her POS or hang around her daughter all day at her job rather than sending my baby-faced self to act like I have some control over the situation. It was laughable. I didn't even trust myself to fully take their drink order, and I can't even comp anything. Like, what the hell?
I have so many questions right now. Okay. One of my questions is there's a line in there about a daughter. So is there a nepotism situation going on at Nico's restaurant? Like, what's going on with that? I need to know more. Nico, please tell me.
That's what it sounds like. He said, yeah, hang out with her daughter. So I'm guessing, my guess is
Does the daughter come in there and chill because it's on the Jersey Shore? Like, is she coming up from the beach? Is she eating there?
Oh, she might be. She might be hanging out.
Is she like that? Oh, see?
But the way he
damn
writes it, I'm guessing the daughter is as old as Nico.
So here's
he's like, what the fuck?
here's my problem right now, okay? I love the fact that you wrote in, Nico. Like, you're making our show actively better with your words.
But we need more.
But fuck, man. I need more. I needs to know, all right? I'm a gossipy little bitch. You have to tell me all of these things.
Is she codependent on her daughter? Is her daughter her emotional support animal?
Who's taller?
And how close is her in range to being your mom? Like, does she just look old and haggard? Or does your mom look super young?
Or
what?
Is Nico like 9? Like,
That's not child labor.
I don't know. It's Jersey. I don't know what goes on.
You know
up
what,
there.
though? I will say that my favorite sushi place has they had a 9-ish, 10-ish year old, and his younger brother, who's now like 7, has started taking food orders.
Well, that is just go-get-ism right
but
there.
But it's adorable because
and
no
a
matter
work ethic.
what, I always tip them like 40% because they're
you have
so
to, 'cause
cute.
It's adorable
they're
children.
so cute.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
You know what else, though? They never fuck up my order. Those kids never fuck up my order.
Way to go, unspecified child labor law abusers.
I'm just saying.
So long as the food's good, we will turn a blind eye to your willful disrespect.
Is there nothing Asians can't do? They're pretty much ninjas in every facet.
That's not at all stereotypical.
No, it's not. They're beautiful and smart, and they'll kick your ass.
That's still, other than Michelle Yao, that could be a stereotype. But we know from the Golden Globes, Michelle Yao can and will kick people's ass if they try to play her off stage.
Hell yeah.
Don't fuck with my girl. All right. Now's is my turns.
What you got there, Boom?
This comes to us from a listener in Nebraska who asked to have their name withheld on this. So I respect your choices. Name withhelderton.
Name withhelderton?
No Name McNonamey writes, I started a new job. Actually, I should back it up. This is my first time ever talking onto a microphone. So let me just go ahead, take a year's worth of courses, come back, and remember how to tell stories here. This comes to us from a listener in Nebraska.
Hi, Nebraska.
Hi, No Name McNoname.
Hola.
The email is entitled, My Boss Made Me an Accidental, wait for it, Animal Abuser.
I love how you tell me to wait for it because I want to jump in.
You do want to jump in. And I can seize it in your eye. We've been doing this show for quite some time now, Pixie. I feel like if we haven't picked up on each other's mannerisms at this point, we probably don't have a future.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. This podcast can just be hung up.
All right. So getting back to No Name Nebraska.
How about you just say anonymous?
Annie Mouse, Nebraska writes, I started a new job at a dog breeder. I was just 18 years old. Boomer, I don't want you to start thinking about the Skid Row song 18 in Life and have it running through your head as you're telling this story. That would be really
she did
terrible.
Not write that.
It's right there. I was just 18, period. I was one of my very first jobs. See? Right there in black and white.
You're going to alienate our listeners.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Nebraska. Okay, so Sebastian Bach had nothing to do with this. I was just 18. It was one of my very first jobs. I moved to a new state and found a job listing on Craigslist. I'm glad you weren't murdered.
God, that's terrible.
The
That's in
Craigslist
poor
killers,
taste.
though, that's like a
I
thing.
know.
That was
I know.
totally a thing.
God, that's just awful.
Okay, I'm sorry, Nebraska. I'm going to be apologizing for this all fucking
No,
all show. When asked about my canine experience, I was proud to state that I had trained all 3 of my pit bulls. One was a rescue with hardcore issues. Nope, not going to make a music joke there. And I also helped my female through birthing a large litter. All the puppies survived and were very healthy, and still I had references for the people who adopted them.
Aw.
Okay, so Nebraska's kind of a dog pimp here.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
not in a bad way. Like,
seriously, like most people who do first rounds of breeding or accidental breedings, they lose puppies. My mom's dog lost like puppies.
That's sad.
It is sad. But if you don't know what the hell you're doing and your dog accidentally gets knocked up, things like that happen.
Yeah. Put a sock on your dog pickle. Wrap up that lipstick, boys
Do they
and
make
girls.
dog condoms?
They should. They
dog
should.
birth control?
And they should absolutely be called the Red Rockets. Like, go out and buy your dog a pack of Red Rockets. So,
Red Rockets.
Yum.
No.
if Bob Barker was alive to see this, he'd be so proud of the technology. He'd be like, man, all those spay and neuter years. And I could have just been like, just put a sock on the dog pickle. Strap on a Red Rocket and let Sparky fly.
Oh, my God.
Seriously, Nebraska, I'm so fucking sorry. I am so sorry. I'm off. All right. So this job at the dog joint here was so exciting to me. The man had mostly purebred German Shepherds, a beautiful Doberman, and a full litter of 2 chocolate lab puppies.
My guess is that's 2 litters of actual chocolate lab puppies.
A full litter or 2. Sorry, you're right. I can't read.
Yeah, that didn't sound right to me.
A full litter or 2 of chocolate Labrador
Because they
puppies.
have like so many babies. You're like, how many babies is this thing going to pop out? It's stupid how many puppies they have. Like, it's stupid.
The man showed me cameras on the property, but said it was important that I log my clock in and clock out with the logbook, as that would be both coming in the morning and evening.
Okay.
So I guess like a couple times a day, like you clock in, you do a
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
you clock out, or whatever. Okay. It was like, I'm watching you, but also I don't want to look through a ton of footage to get your hourly payment right.
Oh.
So I guess he made it sound super duper creepy when he was talking about the
like, I'm
I have
feeling like
cameras,
the
there's
Craigslist
cameras
killer
here.
thing.
Yep, again, I am glad you're not dead.
Oh, man.
The best part was I got to bring my dogs to work. He had a full training course and everything. My main jobs were to feed and water the dogs after moving from one kennel to an empty one to clean them. So
shoveling dog shit.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
feed the dogs, let the dogs out, clean it up, slap them back in, feed the
Yeah.
dogs, slap them out. Okay, I got it. I went over the property, starting at the top kennel where the Dobie was, made my way to the sheep herds, and took extra time on the puppies because it was either a huge litter or 2 litters in one big pen, and I wanted to make sure everyone got a proper amount of food. Wow, it's like you're trying to be good at your job. Crazy. Then, it happened, and I felt like a monster. This took a dark turn.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
What happened?
My second afternoon, which was also my first solo day, I heard deep breathing coming from a transport kennel on the back of this large pickup truck.
Oh, no.
Please tell me nobody was tugging. That's all I just...
I'm thinking of a small child stuck in there.
I opened
Human
the door.
trafficking?
I open the door, and out struggles a male shepherd.
Oh, my God. That's not cool. Don't pause for dramatic effect. It's messed up.
The man had never told me that there was a dog in there. That's fucked up.
Oh,
fucked up.
no.
The poor dog was thirsty and covered in hair. I fed him slowly and gave him a gentle walk, then asked my boss if he always keeps the dog in there. He said yes and acted like it was no big deal. What a fucking monster.
Oh, my God.
I ended up working for a vet that hired me after I told them the story. They had reported the man a number of times and kept trying to get his breeding license taken away, along with all of the dogs, because he often abused them.
Dude.
People like that are seriously awful. I have heard of bad training, but you can forget. But I've heard of bad trading, but forgetting an entire living creature.
Yeah.
They just neglected to tell Nebraska that this poor dog even existed. Turning this into a positive, my job at the vets was much better. Thanks for laughing and reminding me why I never want to work in the food service world. Love the show. Wow.
That's horrible.
That's beyond fucking horrible.
That sucks.
I hope that person was mortally wounded, preferably by the dog.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. By his dogs. I hope his dogs
Just a big
ate
bite
him.
and bled out. No, forget eating. I don't ingest the flesh of that evil fuck.
Ugh.
Just let him bleed out.
That's so mean.
Wow.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's a pretty fucking bad owner or manager. That's a pretty bad manager
Yeah, I
slash
don't even know.
owner, whatever we're gonna call it.
He's a bad
situation.
human. He was bad
Yeah,
at humaning.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Piece of shit. Pixie, please give me one that I hope is just about shitty management and not about poor defenseless puppy duppies.
Okay. This is from Connecticut, and it is entitled Back to School, but Didn't Have My Back.
Being from Massachusetts, I love my East Coast people, love my Connecticut folks. Thank you so much.
No, you don't.
Also, why do all the trees in Massachusetts lean south?
Why?
Because Connecticut fucking sucks.
There you go. That's what I thought. That's
I'm just
what I
kidding.
thought.
I love you, Connecticut. I got my first tattoo all up in you. Actually, no, I got my second tattoo all up in you, Connecticut. So thank you.
Is that the shitty bull one?
No.
No.
The shitty bull one was in college in Ohio.
Working back to school can be pretty crazy. We have all kinds of savings and people bring their kids. Aisles get messy. It can get pretty chaotic. We have all kinds of people swearing that we're ringing things up wrong or incorrectly, or they don't have the SKU attached and you have to search for the item.
Oh, can I interject?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's not ringing up. I guess it's free.
Mhm, yeah. The worst of the, all caps, worst, is people who try to tell you the price. And sometimes they're right, which is great, but the fact of the matter is, I still have to look the item up. And I just love, by that I mean,
Fucking hate.
yeah, I can feel that. I get the sarcasm here. People who throw a hissy fit when things aren't what they say they are. We were running a sale on a particular type of calculator. It was cute and came in different colors, but did nothing more advanced than division. However, this cunt came up to my counter. I'm sorry. That's what it says.
I had a candy heart I was chewing on, just minding my own business. Oh, motherfucker.
Yeah, you shouldn't be chewing when we're reading emails.
Oh, I love you, Connecticut.
Okay, so this C word came up to my counter with a $119 top-notch calculus calculator, bitching that it was the one on sale. I showed it to my manager and her from the picture in the sales thing, like the sales pamphlet.
The flyer.
Yeah, that's the word.
I worked in retail.
Yeah. God, now I lost my place. So I showed it to her, and okay. It was ridiculous to confuse the two. Her prize-winning argument was that it was in the same spot as the one that was on sale. Give me a break. What did my manager do after this lady sat there screaming and held up the line arguing photographic evidence that I presented? He let the... Prepare yourself. He let the fucking cunt have the calculator for $9.99.
Nice.
When I told him that it hurt me to have him do that and not have my back, and that it encourages people like her to act this way and that her kids are going to end up acting this way, he stupidly replied, "It's just quicker to get her out of here." Facepalm.
I like the fact, first of all, that Connecticut over there drew the full through line to the manager. Like,
Yeah.
this one act of yours is going to be single-handedly responsible for making the youth
domino
of,
effect.
the youth of tomorrow worse. When the machines rise to take us over, these kids will become their overlords, and it's all your fault.
Well, they did say earlier that people bring their kids. I don't know if this person had brought her kid or what, but like,
I just like the invocation of
the domino effect
right,
is
not
pretty
just like
impressive.
you're being a short-sighted asshole, but it's like you're ruining society.
You're gonna ruin
everything.
like the whole world
America
by doing this. You stupid bitch.
What? No, she was a cunt apparently.
Yeah, a fucking cunt.
Before I counter yours,
Yes.
can I tell you a quick story about my mom?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, as we've discussed slightly on this show, my mother is a delightful woman.
She really is.
She was a clinical psychologist, a smart fucking lady.
And she has soft hair that's all white and like a cottony lamb.
She does. And her favorite episode is also the poop episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the only time I've heard my mother say the word cunt
God.
was in mixed company at a dinner party.
Oh my goodness.
And she was referring to, wait for it, who do you think my mother, my saintly Hebrew mother, would call a cunt?
For me, it would be my own mother.
She does not know your mother, so no, that did not happen.
No, I would get daughters and mothers have like weird things.
Somebody at the table had mentioned seeing some sort of television program hosted by none other than Connecticut's own Martha Stewart, to which my mother,
Oh.
who is deep in conversation with the person next to her, turns her head and goes, "Martha Stewart, I hate that cunt." And then just went right back into whatever she was talking about. My jaw
Ah, that's delightful.
broke through the floor of this where I was sitting. We had to bring in repair people to fix the floor.
Mm-hmm. That's why I can't picture your mother saying that. Like
To this
that's just
day,
not a thing.
but to this day, if I bring up that story, she will sheepishly, though, absolutely cop to it
oh man.
and be like, "Oh yeah, I do hate that cunt." So, Snoop Dogg may love her to death, but Boomer's mom, keep that bitch away from her. My next story for us comes from a listener in Maryland.
Okay.
All right. I worked at a Walmart after high school. The overnight supervisor, who was like 65 or 70, kept trying to hug or otherwise trying to put his arms around me
Ew.
or otherwise touching me.
No.
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 You stop that right now.
Yeah. Accidentally, in quotes, deliberately put his hand on my hip or lower back.
Hell no. Mm-mm.
Accidental on purpose.
Yeah. All the accidental on purpose.
So, shit like that.
Shoulders and above. Shoulders and above.
But even still, if he was trying to hug her or doing that whole
Ugh, no. Ugh.
made my skin crawl. And ours too.
Yeah.
Annoying and uncomfortable. And he kept doing it even after I told him multiple times, "Stop. I don't like it.
Oh.
Stop. Don't touch me there. Those are my no-no squares."
But also, I just got out of high school and I'm like 18 or 19.
Correct.
Please don't touch 18 or 19-year-olds.
Ever.
Especially when they tell you, don't touch me.
Yeah. I complained to the 2 overnight managers, and they told me, "Oh, he just does that to everyone. He's just being friendly."
Yeah, no.
No. Parentheses, I found out later he only did that to certain people, and at least one other person had complained about it. Here's my guess. Young ladies would be.
Yeah, that would be
my detective.
Tisk, sir.
I started avoiding the lunchroom and him as much as possible, but he catches me alone at my locker one night. Oh, God. Unbeknownst to him, a woman, I'll call her Sarah, has come up behind him to the time clock near the lockers and witnesses everything.
Oh, my God.
It's silly, but I can't even remember what he said exactly. Something about, Where were you? Why weren't you in the lunchroom? I said, none of your business. I turned to leave, and he grabbed me by the elbow, yanked me back, and held me there.
No.
He said something in a demanding tone along the lines of, answer me, and instead, I said probably the most accidental badass line ever. Take your hand off me or I'll break it off.
You rock.
Hell yeah, Maryland. And she yanked her hand away.
Good.
I regret not following through. If I'd known I'd lose my job anyways, I would have.
What the hell?
Yeah. If I'd known I'd lose my job.
I would have punched him right in his dick.
Anyways. So I basically told him to fuck off. Sarah came running up to me, asking if I was okay and that I had to report it. I told her I already did, and they did nothing, meaning not that specific incident, but that she had reported his pattern of behavior, I guess.
Yeah, the other incidences.
Right. She said she saw something and to name her as a witness. So that's what I did. And again, management dismissed it and literally said, well, Sarah lies. She can't be trusted.
Oh.
Because it's because it was a woman too, right?
What in the hell?
You know that if Sarah was Gary, they would be like, oh, well, Gary fucking, but Sarah's a lady.
I don't know. I don't even know if it was Gary, if it would matter. It would have to take like manager John is like, dude, old man, what's his fuck, needs to fucking keep his hands to himself.
See, I don't know. I feel very much like it's just strictly because
after the whole documentary of like managers stripping girls naked, I just don't trust anybody anymore.
Don't answer the telephone.
Yeah.
Holy shit. If you haven't seen that on Netflix, by the way,
go check it out. But also
after you listen. After you listen to this podcast.
Yeah. First, you got to listen to this podcast.
Priorities. You've got a week. Now that you've listened to the show, you've got a week till next week's show comes out. In that time, watch this fucking show on Netflix.
But I just don't trust anyone. Yeah. Like the things that people do thinking they're doing the right thing. I mean,
we could get off on such a tangent on that. Vomit. So let's just,
I could vomit right now on the microphone.
Please don't. They cost us a good pretty penny. Have a drink of your beer. That's what you should do. Drink a beer.
Yeah, I will.
I got called into the office a few nights later by the shift manager, Lisa, and told I was being fired for stealing company time.
How do you steal time?
Even though I listed 5 witnesses that saw me working. I had literally finished my area and was helping other people. She claimed she couldn't find me, to which I asked why didn't they use the PA system to page me. They said they shouldn't have to. I'm like,
in the hell?
Then why do we have a PA system? Good question. You read that story a few weeks ago about that girl that called out on the PA system because you guys got a 9. You read that story about the girl who got called out on the PA system because of the secret shopper and getting the 95 and everything.
Yeah.
So
you can use a PA system to give props to somebody, but you can't to like locate their fucking position in a store.
Use it for good or for ill.
That doesn't make any sense.
I told them to let me call in the people that saw me working, and they denied me. What do you even do in a situation like that? I tried going above their heads to the store manager the next day and was basically told it was all my own fault and, exact words, whining about it just makes you look like you're trying to blame everyone else. That place was a shit show. If I'd have known what they were going to do now, I would have lawyered up, but I don't know if it would have done me any good, really. You can't prove it. They will say that they fired you for some other reason. There was a lot of other shit that went on in that store, too, like the other night supervisor talking loudly about why other people got written up, etc.
Wow, that is some retail fuckery.
That is, and that's just absolute, like, manager abuse of...
Managing?
Yeah.
But also sexual harassment, man.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
All by itself. Don't, like, near no one else.
And, dude, Marilyn, we're sorry, because that sucks. But you did the right thing. You went to the right people. You tried to do the right thing.
It was the system that failed you.
The system failed you.
To quote Serge Tonkian, fuck the system.
Oh, I was going to go.
Fuck.
I was going to go. The system is down. The system is down. No? No? It was big in like the 90s.
Sure.
We have one from Georgia.
You know, George has been on my mind.
Okay, you gotta stop. Just leave it alone. Just walk away.
Georgia.
No.
An old sweet song
No.
keeps Georgia on
I'm
my
gonna take my headset off. Good Lord. All right. Before I commit suicide on the air, we have manager paranoia. It was close to closing. It was pretty much empty. My manager had apparently observed a family walk in, but they were hanging out by the TVs, not bothering anyone. We weren't so close to close that it was annoying me when they showed up. I mean, a sale's a sale. Still, my boss was acting like it was personal. She straight up ignored them. What the hell?
Yeah, that's strange. And I mean, I definitely get bitchy towards the end of the night and do the whole like, why are you coming in thing.
But if it's not
But
that
if you can-
close to close.
Yeah, and if you can get in, get out.
I mean,
Like, yeah.
All right. So it seems like they were there for something. Anyway, that would have been fine, but she kept commenting on it to me that these people were staring at her like the entire family was looking at her.
Sure, it's all about you.
Finally, frustrated with her weird grumblings, I politely walked over and asked them if there was anything I could do for them or if they needed any help finding anything. They were very nice and said that it was merely cold outside and their kids wanted to get warm. I told them that was fine, and if they need anything, that they can let me know. My manager sat there staring at them, not moving.
Huh?
Yeah,
Just
the manager sat there just looking at these people.
giving them the stink eye.
Yep.
Wow.
Finally, the people decided to move on. I mean, if my boss doesn't want to work, then give somebody else the title. What's the incentive to work if she doesn't want to? I don't want to be a rat. I could have talked to the GM, but I mean, give the title and the pay to someone who actually appreciates it. I take anti-anxiety meds and have been known to have full-blown panic attacks, but it's weird to see an adult acting the same way.
Walk on home, boy.
Like, what in the shit?
That's crazy.
I mean, I get it. Like, I get sometimes you're just not feeling like dealing with people, but
And I've absolutely stood there and given guests the stink eye.
that's like you've come in 5 till close and it's a restaurant. This sounds like it's an appliance store. Like, you could just run in and grab something and get out.
When I worked in retail, I worked at a joint where the electronics was
Mhm.
part of the whole deal. And I absolutely, so these people came in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was like 10 till close. And they're looking at really expensive big TVs.
That's what this sounds like.
So you're like, all right, cool. Like, you know, I can sell a big TV. Maybe we can sell a protection plan, like get a little extra
There
money
you
for
go.
myself, the whole nine
Yeah.
yards. So you do tend to be like, yes, you can see that all of the other people have gone and that people are cleaning and straightening their departments, but, you know, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So these people are like, oh, well, what about this TV? What about this one? So,
So they were asking you questions.
right.
Okay.
And I'm trying. Like
Yeah.
I was attempting a
Yeah.
thing. Now, here's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that they wanted, we did not have in the back, but we
Wait.
had them
The
in
floor model.
no.
No?
We had them in connexes way, way out back. So not in the storage room that is through the little floppy doors right next to
Okay.
the showroom, but like way, 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 way in the back.
Where you got to get like a forklift and
You have
shit.
to take a fucking
yeah.
like you have to take
Oh,
a
the
hand
pa-
truck.
You
and-
mean like a pallet jack?
no?
Oh, a hand truck. Okay.
Like to roll out the like quarter of a mile away where it is,
Holy shit.
load them up and do the whole thing.
Yeah. Mm.
So these people are like
Mhm.
adamant that they love this model. This is the one they want, blah, blah, blah. So, okay. And you're like, well, it's a pain in the dick. I got to go walk to the thing, but I'm going to make a
But,
story.
yeah.
But I'm going to make a sale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Money, money, money. Nom, nom, nom.
Here's the sub problem of the problem. Those back connexes, about 20 minutes before close, the loss prevention officers physically lock. We do not have
Oh.
keys to.
So you couldn't sell them what they wanted.
No. I had to walk to loss prevention,
Mm-hmm.
ask them to go open up the connex,
Mm-hmm.
then go into said connex, which does not have lights because it's connex,
Mm-hmm.
with my little flashlight to try to find
The little model number.
the model number on the box to then try to bring it to them.
Yeah.
By this point, it was, I shit you not, like 45 minutes after closing.
Yeah.
They were still hanging around and still like all in, like, oh, we're so
That's
sorry,
good. At
but
least
we
they
really
didn't
wanted
dip.
to. And then da-da-da-da. So when I finally was like, okay, so like I'm having a tough time finding it. I know it's
Yeah.
back there, but you're just like, They're like, okay, well, I tell you what, if you could pull it out for us and just bring it up here, we'll come back first thing tomorrow morning and get it.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why don't you just no? Then we'll get it tomorrow morning. Why
Then
are
you
you
should
making
have
me do
left.
it now?
Yes.
Why?
When I said I think I have one way in the back out in the Connex, but I'm going
Then
to have
say,
to go next door to
okay,
loss
yeah,
prevention
pull
to
it
get the
out
keys to then go
tomorrow.
do the thing. Right. At that point, you should have been like, oh, wow, that sounds like a whole
Yeah.
lot. I'm so sorry. I can wait 12 hours.
In their defense, and I hate to be that guy, but I'm gonna play that guy. When you kept describing this, I'm sure you didn't tell them it was a half a mile like away, and that there's no lights. So even I wouldn't know that.
I did explain that there was no lights. And I did explain that I had to go next door to get the person to then walk down to the box to open up the box. And then I was going to have to go into the box with the thing. I gave them the steps. I didn't necessarily give distances.
Yeah.
But I gave steps of like, this has to happen, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this.
Fair.
Also, a true mensch would have been like, I tell you what, why don't we pay for it tonight and come pick it up tomorrow? That would have been another way to deal with it. But not, why don't you go ahead and you get that ready for me and I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, because you're not getting the sale then either.
Correct.
Ugh. Well, I mean,
So that sucked.
everything has two sides to the stories and whatnot, except for Maryland.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That guy
That was
needs to be
terrible.
fired and never, ever allowed to ever work where there are young ladies.
I feel like we should wind things down and end it not on creepy sexual harassment or like abused puppies.
Oh, I forgot about the abused puppies till you said something.
Yeah, this has kind of been a rough one.
Oh.
So I'm going to end with our favorite type of manager incompetence.
Okay.
That would be the drunk manager.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes. Now,
Yay.
I don't know if I should say what area this story is from
Okay.
and make up a name,
Okay.
or if I should just say, so this is a guy I worked with.
You know who you are.
So why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Why don't we just leave it as, so there's a guy I worked with. And he was much like most managers. It's always the new boss is fine until...
He's not fine.
Right. So started off just super cool. Super, super cool.
I'm the cool boss.
Like I'm the cool boss. Like,
Like
it's
the
all
cool
good.
mom?
Yeah, man, we're all good, homie. Like all of it. Like super, super cool.
Uh-huh.
And then over time, I don't know if it was the stress of the position, if it was, what was being asked of him, if it was, home life. I have no idea. But shit got weird.
Not got real. It got weird.
Yeah, it got real weird.
Oh, delightful.
Some of the things that when I started having questions,
Okay.
when it was like, okay, so we're going to bring in our wine reps to do a tasting for the servers.
Sounds delightful.
Absolutely. At 9 a.m.
That's early.
Yeah. So like once a month, give or take, they would try to do like a let's clean the restaurant thing and we'll do it before we open. And
Yeah, because they get dirty, man. They need to get scrubbed down.
Take pride in where you work.
Exactly.
So, and this was like above what the cleaners would do because there's cleaners
Mhm.
there, 3-4 days a week. It
And
was just
before the Rona and all
it
that.
was like, let's
just,
move everything
yeah.
out and like really do, power wash it.
Yeah.
So the thought was we'll have these wine tastings for the staff
Oh my God.
at like 10 in the morning.
Was it like the swish and spit, or was it like, we all know you aren't going to do that, so here's a glass of wine?
Right. Outside of an actual winery or with respectable human beings. When was the last time
Yeah,
working in a restaurant?
I retract my statement. I'm sorry. I just thought maybe they knew how to do a tasting.
So on Fantasy Island, where Pixie's living. So no, they would legitimately.
Legitimately?
Yep, this is really good beer.
Or you're having a stroke.
Or both. seriously, they would bring in the wine reps and go through multiple iterations of tasting wines. Well, as you know, you don't drink the full bottle, even if you have a gigantic staff. It's almost impossible to do a wine tasting and whip out a whole bottle.
Yeah.
So there would be bottles that would be varying amounts of leftover.
Yeah.
And after the wine tastings, all of those bottles would be left in the restaurant.
You're not going to store them in a car with open containers. That's just stupid.
So they would then be pushed into the manager's office.
Clear it out so that way it's not sitting for customers to drink. That makes sense.
Now, as a manager, you would think, oh, hey, well, Boomer, then, I'm sure you saw those half-drank wine bottles in your office for like days, and you were like, oh, yeah, that's right, we should really do. You would be wrong. Do you know why you would be wrong?
Because you dumped them out immediately, or you offered them to customers and said, how do you feel about us carrying these wines?
Because after the restaurant opened, this person would then go into the manager's office. This person not being me, this would be the head
honcho.
Head honcho would go into our office and lock the door for a couple hours.
Oh, he's just gonna have his mommy
big girl
juice.
Pools.
Yeah,
yes.
his big girl pours.
Yes. Now, there were times where the wine tastings would happen later in the day. It would be at like 3 going into dinner service.
That's still kind of early.
In between, it absolutely would be.
And in between, you're still working. He's working at work where he works.
No. Tug. There would also, from time to time, be special bottles that would not be used at the tasting that the wine reps would bring that would be left in the office. Like, oh, here's that bottle of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's a promotional, whatever the shit. Yeah.
Never saw one of those bottles leave our office empty. I never saw one of those bottles leave the office full.
Wow. Okay. So that's a form of alcoholism.
It gets better.
How could it get any better?
From time to time, I would be doing my management job, managing a restaurant.
Okay.
I would be the closing manager for the night. And I'm of the opinion a lot of times where it's like there's very few times where you need like multiple managers on duty, right? Unless it's like super busy or there's a thing going on or whatever. Like just in the regular course of a day-to-day thing.
We've discussed that there should be like a manager for each portion of the day. It doesn't need to overlap, and then everybody gets proper rest, so you don't have to clopen, etc.
And there's also like the whole volume thing. Like once you hit a certain point in the night, it's like, dude, everybody just, I got this. Like,
yeah, you don't need all
go.
hands on
Right.
deck constantly.
So this guy would be like, so you got this, right? And I'm me, so yeah, of course.
I'm Boomer, the restaurant's on fire. I totally got this.
It's fine. It's totally fine. I know the number for 911.
I smell burning.
So it would be like, hey, man, you got this. Yeah, totally. Cool. I'm going to go and get some groceries for the family and then head home. Okay, bye. See you later.
So that was the end of his day.
That was the end of his day.
Okay.
Here's the thing. There was a grocery store located right nearby where the restaurant was.
Okay.
The grocery store had a bar in it.
Oh, I've seen those.
They're amazing.
I've seen
First of all,
they're like bougie places that have it full set up
there's
where
a
it's
whole
like
thing, and
come
there's like
to our
TVs,
vineyard, and yeah.
and there's
the
and you
cheese
can, like,
section is like right near it.
You can like walk around with your beer and just like, yeah, this is the only reason why I go with my wife because she hates me and I her, but I get to get drunk.
She's shopping. I'm gonna drink.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those.
Okay.
So he'd be like, all right, well, I'm going to go to the grocery store and, then head home. I'd be like, all right, cool, whatever.
For the record, I don't know if that's an ingenious idea or a terrible idea for a marriage.
It's, I think, brilliant on 9 different levels.
I mean, I just see the wives who hate their husbands
Mhm.
and the husbands who hate their wives sitting there, and like either a wife is just getting day drunk before she has to like shop, and the husband who's like, I don't want to be with my wife. She's making her way through the aisles, and then they meet and they're like, oh, do you hate your spouse too? We could get a hotel room.
Wow, you took that way darker than I was going to go with
I'm
on
so
that.
sorry, but that's
No.
where my brain goes.
No, so I see it as the don't like to go shopping with my significant other, but
Mhm.
oh my God, there's beer there. So I'll be the stand-up person. I'll be like, hey, it's an activity we can do together. So then
Okay.
So then the one goes and hits the aisles and maybe
Yeah.
has, a glass of whatever. The other one sits in the bar area getting schnockered,
Watching TV.
or possibly walks the aisles, but then every third aisle like runs back to the bar. Then doesn't care as much about whatever it is that the significant other is buying.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, whatever. That's fine. I don't give a shit. That's fine. Yes. Do we need? Sure. 2 air fryers. Yep. Mm-hmm. You're going to use them? Sure. Fine. I'm okay with that. Whatever. And then at the end of the day can lie to themselves and be like, well, we do things together.
Did we need 9 panini presses, Sharon? Did we need 9?
I mean, we could have gotten away with 8, but the 9th was free. So spending money to save money, honey. Also, you needed new underwear. So cut to.
No cut to.
Hours would go by and I would still see his car in the restaurant parking lot.
Oh, so he's at work, it appears, but he's not really at work. He's at the grocery store.
Getting shit hammered.
Ah, yes.
Now, this is completely unfounded gossip and hearsay that I'm about to say. However, it is my belief that he had told the wife that he had to work until a certain point.
Oh.
That was later than he actually worked. So he would go to...
these long hours, Sharon.
Right,
They're
exactly.
killing me, these long hours.
Exactly. So then by coming home with like 8 items of food, he could be like, I worked my butt off. Yeah, I had a beer, but I had a beer while getting groceries for the family because I'm husband of the day.
I brought home dinner and went to work, Sharon. What'd you do today?
Exactly.
Eating freaking bonbons sitting on your ass.
Hey, Sharon had a Zumba class. Sharon picked up the kids.
She crochets.
She crochets some. She's got her book group.
Oh, she has a book club?
She does have a book
Okay,
club.
I respect Sharon now.
Sharon's got shit going for her, okay?
Yeah, she's reading.
It's not
I
her
support
fault
her
she's,
reading.
She's married to this doofus.
Surprisingly, I suck at reading on the air, but I actually do enjoy reading.
I've seen you with books quite
Yes,
often.
I do like
You
books.
enjoy yourself a book. So that, then, is one of my favorite manager not gonna manage stories.
Just, I'm going to
Yeah.
manage getting drunk.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Well, you know what? He's pretty good at drinking beer.
I bet he is, I think at this point still manages to be married and employed.
Well, that's
So-
a feat in itself.
so you
So
can't-
brava to you, sir.
I can't poo-poo it too much. If it
Yeah.
works for you, dude,
Good
who
for
am I
you.
to say?
Yeah, no.
I'm not going to judge. We know me. I'm not judgy at all.
You judgy bitch.
My name's Boomer, but you can call me Judy. Judge Judy.
That was a stretch.
And that, my friends, is another episode of Service Entrance People. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that we didn't bum you out too much with the depressing stuff. I hope we lifted you up there at the end with the tales of the alcoholic manager.
And remember that we're all in this together. So if you want to write in, at serviceentrancepeople@gmail.com or hit
You
us up on
should.
Facebook at
You
Service Entrance
should.
People Podcast, or if you want to contact us at Service Entrance People Pod at Instagram, we will not use your name if you don't want us to. We won't use your place of business if you don't want us to.
Absolutely not.
This place is a safe space for you.
To talk shit about others.
Yes,
We would-
exactly.
I would love to be able to use where vaguely in the country you're from, just from a listening demographic standpoint. But I will say that a lot of the names that we use are not the actual names. We do change names to protect innocence.
We do. When we're asked, we absolutely. And if you tell us, use that shit, we will.
Absolutely, positively.
Because we're here for you.
We here.
For you. And another way that you can help out the show is to become a producer. Boomer, how can they do that?
Log on to patreon.com/serviceentrancepeople, and you can, at any level, become a Patreon producer just like Misters Chris Moore and Chuck Cumberland, executive producers here at Service Entrance People. We have free stuff for you at every sponsorship level, including free bonus content. We have free stickers. We have free t-shirts. We're going to do another limited edition run of stuff coming up in a little bit. I'm not going to let the ball drop too much on that just as yet, but just know that the pile of cool shit that we have for you is going to be increasing. We are also going to be giving you the ability to purchase your own Service Entrance People gear soon as well. The other thing that you can do if you are not into writing down the written word and you want to share your stories with us is you can give us a call, 854-345-7721. That is our voicemail that nobody answers. That is just a voicemail box for you to regale us with your tales of the shocking, the hilarious, and hopefully the educational. If you've had a bad shift, if you've seen something particularly funny, just give us a call, rant it out to us.
Yeah, if you see something, say something. And don't worry if it cuts off, you can just call right back. Like we said, no one's going to answer, and we will work our magic to make sure that it plays through.
So much production value goes into this, and it will go into you as well. Let me put my production value into you. And with that.
Not without consent.
I will ask you first. Thank you very much for tuning in. Next Wednesday, midnight, another episode of Service Entrance People will be available. Until then, we both appreciate you listening so very much. I am Boomer.
And I'm Pixie. Adios.